So I am back. My previous stream just froze up for whatever reason on a still image, so I guess I am back now. We'll see who comes back. This is pretty funny. I don't know what the heck was going on. Reese is back. Thanks, brother. Yeah, I don't know why that just froze up on me, but that was quite humorous. Pretty funny. I don't know what was going on with that. Crispy's back. Yeah, dude, what the heck was up with that, man? What just happened? Is YouTube trying to shut me down? I don't know. Bog. We are back. I don't know what the heck just happened, man. Back to our conversation. So, Eddie's in the house. What's up, brother, man? Yeah, man. Came right back. Can't put me down, YouTube. I don't. It probably wasn't YouTube. It was probably a malfunction on my part. But we're back. So back to our conversation. So handsome broke the internet. Hey, man, you better quit it, Bog. You better quit it, man. You guys aren't ready, man. I'm gonna bust out a new look on you guys soon. I have a whole plan. I gotta trim some off the mop, and then I'm gonna put some dope colors through it and stuff like that. I can't wait for that. I'm ready for shorter hair, colored hair Neo coming at you soon. Oh yeah, that's dope. Four-wheel drive, 646 horsepower. Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm okay looking. I guess I'm not bad looking. Thank you guys. Yeah, but it's weird, man. Back to the conversation. Like, it's weird, like how to start over. You know, like situations that happen like this. It's like, what do you do now, kind of thing. Yeah, ready for it, man. I mean, I haven't had short hair since I was like freaking 12. I'm definitely not gonna cut it all off. I'll probably take a couple inches off of it, and gotta gotta go about the bleaching process, the dyeing process. I gotta figure out what colors I want to put in it. It's gonna be pretty sick. Probably do that before more tattoos and stuff. Because of the money thing, I don't want to spend a lot of money right now. I should be able to do um, like less than $100 when it comes to a trim. I think it's like $14 in my local barber. Really nice guy. I've known him forever. And then the bleaching and dyeing process should be less than $100. So I'm gonna do that before I'll do 2 grand in tattoos. So we excited for Gran Turismo 5. Yeah, heck yeah. Yeah, reverse mullet. Start a new trend. Tattoo your face. I don't know if I'm ever gonna do that. I don't really think I have any desire to right now. I will be getting it's another reason I want to cut my hair is because my one tattoo that ends here, I'm gonna bring it up behind the ear and down the neck and stuff. I'm not gonna do like a huge neck tattoo, but dude, my job is so cool about tattoos and piercings, they don't care. So um that'll be the next one, probably like way up here behind the back of the ear, growing out of the head, the rose bush theme. Um But me and my tattoo guy have thrown it around. It's either that one or we're gonna start on the whole sleeve on this hand next, or arm next. Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to face tattoos, but like I just don't have any desire for it at the moment. I don't know what I'd want to put on my face, kind of thing. I don't think I'll really. I'll pierce my face before I'll tattoo it right now. That's where I am at the moment. Um, but I can't wait, man. This whole hand, I'm gonna do the digits of my fingers and everything. That's gonna be all fire and stuff. I'm gonna do a big fire sleeve and Grim Reaper and like souls and stuff swirling around and a lot more blood to tie into the Slayer tattoo and the pentagram. It's gonna be pretty sweet, but that's a lot of money, bro. The eye tattoos, that's a very interesting topic. Not good. I mean, I don't know. If it affects your eyesight eventually, I think it's negative. It's cool looking, don't get me wrong, but I can't ever fathom sitting down and having somebody put a needle in my eyeball. I don't think I could do that. I don't even want to do like LASIK. I wear eyeglasses right now, but can you imagine one day getting LASIK? They cut the film of your eye and they peel it back and they laser your cornea. That alone freaks me out. I can't imagine tattooing my eyeball, bro. Yeah, man, dude, I love to talk about it too. So, I mean, I do have. Maybe I should turn the filter off so you can actually see. You guys already know. Um, I got the Bloody Slayer tattoo. Love Slayer, awesome band. And I got the pentagram that needs touch. So that's a lot more black that needs done there. Um, but we talked about it. I want to do. I got like a life, a growth thing. I got plant growth. It's kind of like a growth thing. You grow through life. You have life. Over here will be death. Because, dude, I could walk outside right now and get hit by a car. I could be struck by lightning. Like, death is imminent. You never know when it's going to happen. So, my philosophy for that is um, you embrace life and death because you live every day like you're going to die. So, my whole thought over here is going to be a Grim Reaper. We've already talked about it, like maybe doing like a slashing motion and like tons of blood and fire and stuff for like hell. You never know. I mean, even after death, you never know what's gonna happen. So like that eternal damnation thing, man. I love that. I love a lot of morbid shit. So incorporate that a little bit. A lot of swirling faces, like you die, you're in purgatory, you're like kind of there, your soul swirling around. I'm gonna incorporate that on this arm. Um, I'm gonna put something on the hand. I don't know if it's gonna be like a face, like a demonic face or something, and just fire. I want to do all the fingers. I want to do the webbing of the fingers, everything. I want to be orange and red and different colors. So it's gonna be a lot of work, a lot of different segments, a lot of different sessions, but the money's worth it, bro. The light, not the light. Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. Shout out to them, bro, for real. Yeah, you gotta be careful with all that stuff. I mean, I got my battle vest, but it's very similar to a biker cut. But I've talked to a lot of bikers, and I've been like, hey, do I need to worry about any bikers being all pissy about this? And they're like, hey, it's a band tribute vest. Like, you're good. You're not flying colors for. We got the Zulus out here. We got Hell's Angels out here. We got various other groups out here, and I've had nothing but good interactions with them. I've been around bikers my whole life, man. Um, but yeah, you got to be careful about certain logos, certain um, anything like that. I've never been around dirty bikers, which would be drug addict bikers or violent bikers. I've never been around really any of those, so I'm pretty confident what I do in my life will be okay. Yeah, man, the hand part. I mean, I did this part hurt like hell, but that looks sick. But I never did the fingers because I'm like, the rose stops. What could I do on the fingers to incorporate that? If I put more plants on the fingers, it would just look off. If I put words on the fingers, it would just look off. But over here, if it was a face and fire all the way around it, the whole piece would come together. I'm very. It's got to make sense. You know what I mean? No screenwriters it burns. Hell's Angels are scary. I've never had any bad interactions with Hell's Angels. They're depending on what chapter you get involved in, whether it's Akron, Cleveland, California, like whatever area. Um, I've never had any bad interaction with Hell's Angels. I mean, they're all bikers, man. You ride. You're out there to ride a bike. Yeah, I could see myself doing that too. But man, um, my dad. This is a really crazy story. In the course of 4 months, he was working oil fields, so he would check like oil wells and pipelines and stuff. He was driving a company vehicle, and in the course of 4 months, he saw two motorcycle accidents that became fatal. And my dad's certified in CPR, so he was there like trying to save these people's life, and they passed away. before the paramedics can get there. And my dad's like super traumatized about it. He's like, dude, I held people when they were dying. Like it kills me, man. Like, which it would anybody. So I don't ride because of that. I don't ride because of my dad's trauma. If I ever rode a motorcycle, my dad would be destroyed. He'd be like, dude, I can't. That's too stressful. People don't look out nowadays. They're on their phones. Um, the stigma with bikers in general, like it's just too much of a risk. I'd love to ride a motorcycle. Holy shit, I'd have a good ass time doing that. Be in the wind, all that good stuff. But you can't ride them year round. You'd have to have a place to store the motorcycle and things like that. I'm not really in that point right now. If I ever lost my dad, I'd probably do it. But while he's alive, I can't, man. Can't do it. I'm not going to scare him to death every day, knowing that I'm out there on a motorcycle and he might get a call that I was killed on a motorcycle. He'd be done for. But I love motorcycles. I've been around them all my damn life, man. Gary's still up. What's up, brother? Thanks for coming through. Yeah, I don't know how the Canadian Hells Angels are. Oh yeah, yeah. Very polite. Yeah, and I don't like using. I'm not correcting you by any means, but I don't ever like to use the term biker gang because being in a crew or an MC, a motorcycle club, isn't necessarily a gang. Obviously, it's a group of people, and you can consider it that. But if you're not committing crimes, you're not doing things. Motorcycle crews, clubs, great guys, man. I've always loved them. Right, exactly. Yeah, bikers are pretty tame, man. Gary said 4 hours ago. Yeah, go to sleep, Gary. Club. Yeah, I'm not correcting you, Bog. Don't think I'm being a dick. I'm not correcting you, brother. Yeah, the motorcycle clubs. Yeah, that's the thing about Hell's Angels too. Yeah, it's a lot. You got biker girls. They go around. My mom didn't get involved with the Hell's Angels because a lot of that stuff. She wasn't about it. My mom rode with bikers many many years. That's where I was around bikers because my mother. Um, so many good guys. My uncle is a biker. I mean, he doesn't ride as much anymore because he's 65 years old, but he's got a badass Harley. Ghost Rider bike, hell yeah, bro. Right, exactly. Mostly in the U.S. Yeah, I don't know, man. And, there's a lot of pockets of bikers. I mean, there's a group down in Alabama called the Misfits. Trying to think of the other guys that have feud with them, but mostly bikers are chill. Like, do bikers will ride together. It shouldn't be a big thing. Bikers are doctors, right? Yeah, I mean, a biker could be anybody. I mean, I could be a biker and I have a normal job. You could be a scientist and be a biker if you want to. It's not all about just riding and living in the clubhouse. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and that's gonna happen here soon too, man. That's exactly what that state highway patrol told me when they pulled me over the other day. He's like, "Oh well, the smell of marijuana, this and that, until it becomes recreational, blah blah blah." I'm like, dude, I haven't smoked pot in 2 years. I can tell you right now, last time I smoked pot. I know the date of the last time I smoked pot. I came from a concert and I smelled like weed because everybody there was smoking weed. I can't, nothing I can do about it. But um, yeah, it's funny. That'll change eventually, man. People will open their eyes to it a little bit more. Yeah, Army guys. There's a group right here, the Vietnam bikers, or something like that. What the hell is the group called? It's like Bikers of Vietnam or something. There's a group of old guys that are all veterans and they ride, and it's badass because they all served and they're all like, "Hey man, let's ride some bikes, let's have fun, let's get together." It's a good outlet. It really is. I love bikers, man. I've never had a bad interaction with a biker ever. Ever. I can't think of one time I've ever had a problem with a biker. Never. Bikers for 9/11, yeah, probably another movement. And the poker runs always happen. Poker run is when like thousands of bikers will get together for like a cancer cause or a fundraiser. They just had one out here by my work recently, and there was like 1,000 bikes at the local police station. So, they're not out there doing anything. All the police are cool with it. They're like, hey, hell yeah, we're gonna raise a shit ton of money for the community, and they're all gonna ride, and you know, it's a good time, man. Now, the one thing I can say is if you ever try to represent a group you're not with, that's a problem. If I were to put a Hell's Angel patch on a jacket and go like walking around or riding around, they're gonna be like, all right, what prospect? Who's your prospect? Who's your club leader? Who's this and that? You're gonna have a problem. They're gonna be like, you're representing a group you're not with. It's very simple. It's like you wouldn't claim to be from a college if you weren't from there. It's the same thing. It's a matter of respect. So you got to know what to do. Yeah, I'm definitely more into like Harley Davidsons. Street bike guys, fucking douchebags. I'm sorry, but the majority I've met that ride like Kawasaki's and Suzuki's and like really fast street bikes, those are the guys that are popping wheelies and zooming in and out of traffic and just being dickheads, man. I've never really had a good interaction with street bikers. They're more of my bike does 135 miles an hour in fourth gear. Like I can go 180 if I wanted to. I do have a buddy who has a crotch rocket, as we call him, and he's not an asshole. He'll go fast on it and stuff, but he's not a dick. Yeah, the situation here is a lot of states are legal for recreational. My state also, if you have like a medical card, you can have it. You can call up your doctor and be like, "Hey, I got PTSD," and they're going to give it to you. But your job still probably won't allow it. I don't know, man, Jared. I've had no bad interactions with the Hells Angels. I was 13 years old, and me and my buddy asked a group of Hells Angels outside of a liquor store to buy us liquor, and they're just like, kind of laughed it off. They're like, we can't do that, guys. Like, we can't do it. But they're not like, get out of here, kids. Like, you're a bunch of freaking hooligans. They were very cool about it. So I've never had, at least with our chapter of Hell's Angels, I've never had an issue with them. Muscle bikes, yeah. I mean, you compare a crotch rocket to a Harley. It's sounds like a muscle car. It's very loud and all that good stuff. What kind of tattoos are those, Jared? I'm not familiar. I know a lot about tattoos, but not that particular one. Right, right, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've seen some people get really rowdy on Harleys and everything, but it's never too much. Dude, yeah, we were too. We were like freaking, oh my God, we were probably 13, 14, if that. And we were at our local plaza, which was like a couple minute walk from my house. We always walk the neighborhood, and we go up there and we see all these guys, and we're like, dude, we maybe they can get us a bottle, or maybe they can get us something. And I'm like, hey man, could you guys? We got some money. Could you guys get us something from the liquor store? And they're like, they all just kind of laugh. They're like, we can't do that. Like, I think it was a matter of respect towards us. They're like, you guys are just freaking kids. Like, you don't need that crap. So shout out to them. They weren't like, oh yeah, we'll get you guys liquor. Like, nah. We we never had much luck with that. We had other connections for stuff like that, and liquor was never really what we were into. As teenagers, we were into a lot of other things, but yeah, those are some fun stories, man. I got tons of funny stories like that, bro. Oh, Chinese mafia tats. Okay, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I understand. I know a lot about prison tats. I know a lot about gang tats, things like that. You don't want to get a certain set on your hands if you go to a certain area. You don't want to have a certain font if you go to a certain area. I mean, Andre, you got a shit ton of tattoos as well, but um, I don't know, man. I didn't get anything on myself for a specific reason. I got Slayer because I like the band. I got a pentagram for my particular reasons. I got my rose and my all that sleeve because and dude, the rose is such a stereotypical tattoo now. I've seen hundreds of them. It's so funny. Had I known, I wouldn't have done it. Um, Maybe there's something in the air that makes people want a rose tattoo, but dude, I've met dozens of people that have a rose on their hand. I'm like, bro, I'm glad I made that a sleeve and not just a rose. Yeah, that's true. That is true. Blog. Oh yeah, for sure, Jared. Let me use the restroom real quick, guys. We'll come back with some crazy stories from whenever I was a teenager. Underglow on bikes, hashtag bring neons back. I love that hashtag. We'll come back. I got another unopened drink on deck. But you know how those are. Jesus, man, I've never used the restroom so much. That light beer kills you. I don't know how Gary does it every night. So, 1 second, guys. I will be back with some cool stories, man. All right. So, thank you guys for all sticking around. I appreciate that. Yeah, and that's funny, man. I do agree with that. I mean, it's black and white, but dude, that looks a lot cooler than a lot of color roses that I've seen. My dude's a very good tattoo artist. He's been doing it 41 freaking years. I would expect him to be good. Damn near crispy, I know. Yeah, we've been at this for a couple hours now, Bug. What the hell time is it? It's 1:38 in the morning. Yeah, it's been a few hours now. But let's go back. We're gonna rewind it to 20. Holy shit, 14 or 15. So I was born in 2000. My birthday falls in December. So in 2014, I was probably 13 years old. 2015, 14 years old, something like that. Man, don't go get no rose, right? Yeah, that's what I'm saying, John B. Heck yeah. Like, I mean, this whole arm is black and white, and that's my theme on my right side of my body is going to be black and white color over here. I have a problem with healing color correctly. I think it might be a little bit too much aftercare on my part, and maybe my skin doesn't hold color too well. But we're going to test some other colors and see how that goes. But yeah, for real, I know, bro. I'm only 21. I feel it, Andre. I feel it. Um, let's take it back to 20. I'm going to say 14. I was probably 13 years old. Um, Me and my buddies, man, we did some crazy shit back then, and I have no problem talking about this because it's a long distant path, and it might convince you guys to never do it. So we had a lot of not a lot, but some connections in the community, and you thought I was older. Yeah, I mean, I'm only 21, bro. How old do I look? Let me know that below. How old do you think I look? I get carded every time I buy alcohol. Um, But we had a connection that we'd always get our smoke off of. And one time the guy was like, "Hey, we got some LSD." And I'm thinking, man, I never, I was weird about trying, some pot. And I'm like, well, let's what's going on here? My buddies were like, dude, this is what convinced me. It's so funny. My buddies told me when you're tripping, you can drink water and you'll taste Mountain Dew. And I'm like, shit, really? Like it really does that? And they're like, yeah, man, da 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 da. So we go about getting this stuff. It was $10 a hit. So you get a hit of acid for $10. I'm like, all right, bet, let's do this. So I did it. It was on a square sheet of paper, which is the typical liquid acid on paper. Throw it on your tongue. You keep it in your mouth for like 20 minutes plus. You eventually get it out of the paper from saliva and all that. Man, we go a couple hours, maybe an hour in, about 45 to an hour limit, you start to feel it. Man, I'm giggling, I'm having a funny time. I'm like, dude, this is weird as hell. You know, I'm falling in the ditch at my buddy's house. We're having fun. We go to my buddy's house to grab some smokes, right? Go down there and grab some smokes, come back, and I'm like, dude, I'm messed up. Like I was like a lot of ringing in the ears. I was having some colors in my eyes, not a typical acid trip. And I remember waking up at home and I'm like, what the hell happened? So I call up my buddy and I'm like, what's up, bro? Man, I don't know what's going on right now. And I couldn't speak. I was speaking in a British freaking accent, my dude, straight up. And he's like, uh, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, dude, I don't know what's going on right now. I woke up at home, like, what happened? And they're like, dude, you're such a lightweight. And I'm like, what? And my phone hung up. He hung up on me. And at that point, I literally seized up and fell over from whatever that drug was. And woke up with this big ass like bruise on my face. I fell and I'm like, dude, I just freaking overdosed on that shit. And I was like talking to the guys. I'm like, what happened? Did they explain what happened? And literally not long after that, I'm like, all right, let's do it again. So my dumbass takes 2 hits the next time, or 1.5, excuse me. I gave half the hit to my other buddy. And so we do it, you know, we walk down 45 minutes to my dealer's house to get some other stuff. And we come back. In about 30 minutes coming back, I'm holding the bag of paraphernalia of the other stuff we purchased, and I'm staring at it like this, walking down the street in front of the fire department, and all these like paramedics and stuff are leaving and stuff, and he's like, "Dude, put that away, bro! Like, put that away." And I like drop it like that, and I keep walking. He's like, "Bro, you just dropped that," and he goes back and picks it up, and at that point, I consider this autopilot mode. So the drugs had taken over so much that I was conscious and walking around, but dude, I was not there. He was like, man, you were walking in the street and cars were coming. I'm like, hey, get over out of the road, man. And I was like swinging at him and punching and stuff. And we got back to my house and we went through my basement. There was an entrance to my basement up to my house. And I would not come up the stairs. I was like tripping so hard. I'm like, I'm not going up those stairs kind of thing. And I remember sitting in my kitchen and him and my mom are looking at me like, trying to figure out what the hell's going on. And he finally has to tell her, like, hey, you know, we did this. And, you know, she's like, they're both yelling at me, and I'm just sitting there, like, staring at them. You know, I remember glimpses and ended up overdosing a second time. So the weirdest thing about it was later on, we figured out these freaking guys were selling bleach strips, which was a combination of random drugs, I guess, on a sheet of paper as LSD, and it like damn near killed me twice, man. I was 120 pounds. I was a tiny ass kid, man. And after that, no more psychedelics, man. I was like, nah, I'm good. I haven't done it since then. Um, so don't ever trust people. Don't ever do any kind of drug, man. It's not worth it. Because that's something I think about. It freaks me the hell out. I remember so much from those times. I'm like, dude, very scary. Don't trust people. Don't get into crap like that. It's not worth it. Stay in school. Get through school, even out of school, man. All that. And it was weird as hell. Yeah, yeah, you're young as hell, Crispy. Closer to 30? Shit. I don't think I look that old. Carry yourself like. Yeah, I agree with that, John B. I've always said I feel like I'm in the wrong generation, bro. Yeah, I never had pure LSD, but it was fun for a moment. Socks and cheese order to do that. Yeah, bro, I was young as shit too, bro, Crispy. You surprised what goes down Ohio? Yeah, bro. Everything hurts. Yeah. Oh man, Tony. Yeah, I mean, it was weird as hell, bro. I literally like woke up and I was like in this weird mindset of like couldn't speak straight. I swear to God, every time I tried to talk, it was an accent. Yeah, don't look at yourself in the mirror on psychedelics. Exactly. Yeah, we'll catch up to you. Exactly, bro. For real, Crispy? Yeah, I mean, I took a year before I ever did a face reveal. That's true, man. Yeah, so I mean, that was a crazy experience. We had a lot of experiences on a lot of other stuff. Like I said, I don't have any shame in it because, dude, I'm far, far beyond that. And I share my stories for the fact of I don't want people to ever relive it. I had a let's take a drink real quick before we get into this one. So around the same time, I had a friend who his mother was getting a lot of different prescription pills for a lot of different things, muscle relaxers, etc. And he got us into the world of that. Man, that is a weird one to go down. I remember one time we did this stuff and it was an antidepressant, but apparently, if you take it, it will get you high. It's the thing I always remember. Will this get us high? Will this get us high? Yeah, man, it'll get you high. Man, we did this stuff one time. It's called Lyrica. It's an antidepressant. We did this stuff one time. How would you look in the mirror? You teleport to the back rooms or something? No, bro, you freak out. You see yourself and you start seeing weird ass shit. Yeah, it's the same as if you're trash and you look in the mirror and you're like, that's that guy right there. But if you're on the other stuff, man, oh man. Um, but yeah, we did Lyrica one time, and or multiple times. I don't even remember how many times. We did this crap, and dude, we were so messed up. We would probably do another crap at the same time. This is supposed to be an antidepressant, right? Get rid of any negative emotions in your body. This stuff, like, completely was the opposite for the feeling I got. It was, I'm a young teen, I'm dealing with crap. I took these drugs. Dude, it like completely was the opposite for me. And I was in the mode of like, I'm going to kill myself right now. And like, I went into this weird spiral of like totally hurting yourself, this and that. And later after that, I ended up in a PHP program, which was partial hospitalization program. I got taken out of school and had to go to this place and do my work because of like what I was doing, the harm I was causing to myself, things like that. And that was freaky. That was like, whoa, dude. Um, and I saw my buddy. Like I said, we had I'm trying to think of what the other ones were, somas or something, muscle relaxers. Man, we take those. My buddy took one time, and he was sitting on the couch and just fell off of the couch onto the floor and was just laying there like giggling and laughing. I'm like, dude, this is not good, man. So we got out of the whole hard drug life really quick, man. The same buddy that got us that kind of stuff fell into meth, and he went into rehab a few times, multiple times, got back on it, things like that. We had another buddy who got into meth and eventually committed suicide, which was like wild. Um, so it's not a fun life. Don't ever get involved in that stuff, man. Collect diecast, dude. Listen to music. Get tattoos. Do whatever is fun for you, whatever's fulfilling to you. Don't ever do that crap, man. I'm telling you right now. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good times, man. I mean, I remember, marijuana is pretty safe, but it's not good to do because you can lose a job with it. You can get way involved in it with money and things like that. It's just not. It's not worth it, man. It's not worth to do anything. That's why I drink a little bit here or there. I'll smoke some nicotine. What the hell? But dude, I've had some fun experiences with other things, but dude, a lot of not so fun experiences. Um, I remember whenever I first pierced this ear, I had no piercings. I was trashed on drugs, and I took a thumbtack, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna pierce my ear." I pierced my ear, and instantly had a 14 gauge taper gauge, which I don't have one to give an example, but it's like a little needle looking taper gauge. It's a long one. I pulled it through my ear, put the stoppers on, and I was instantly like, "Yeah, man, I did this." And then I'm like, I don't even have this ear pierced. So I remember I gauged this ear like maybe to a 12 or something before I ever had this ear gauged. I then got that pierced and went about not doing anything with it. And then like in the last year or two, I ended up doing that. But dude, drugs are weird. Don't mess with drugs, guys. Please don't. Let me see if I catch up on the chat real quick. Let me see here. Yeah, my chat shuts off sometimes, so I gotta catch back up. I don't know why it does that. Uh, it's a nerve med for nerve damage and all things like. Right, right. Yeah, man. If you take things for a certain reason, that's all right. If you're prescribed that, it's about balance, right? D's in the house. What's up, brother? Haven't touched drugs since 1988. Nothing. Not even a painkiller. You can't do it. Even seen friends get. Yeah, exactly, bro. I've seen friends die, literally, from that crap. In your ear, yeah, bro. Zelda's in the house. What's up, brother? And I never got addicted to anything I ever did, man. Like, I mean, I smoked pot since the time I was 13 years old to 2 years ago. It was a daily thing. I'd wake up and smoke some weed and have my coffee. I would do it and go to work. I would landscape stoned. And it's like stupid. It's like, why would you even do that? I look back on it now as a more mature individual. Like, dude, I was just being stupid, man. I was blowing through thousands of dollars in a couple in those years. I spent thousands on that crap. But it was drinking too. You know, drinking is a huge issue as well. I mean, I can't really say anything since I'm having. Well, that one's empty. That one's empty. Never mind. I'm having some beer tonight, but it's just some light beer. I'm not hitting anything too crazy. But yeah, don't ever go down the wrong path. Don't ever let people peer pressure you or convince you to do crap. It's just not worth it, man. Especially now. Yeah, I talk about it here or there because I'm proud of where I am now. I'm proud of where I've come from, kind of thing. I mean, I grew up in a weird area in Northeast Ohio. There's a lot of that crap going on, and it's gotten really bad in my hometown since then. Liquor surprised me. I was wondering why it was controlled substance when I first picked it up. Right, dude, that stuff was whack, man. I remember like I said, I took that shit to school with me, bro. We'd be in the bathroom taking that crap. That's the bad thing. Like it was not good. We had that, Somas, um, Xanax. Those were, don't ever fuck with those. Um, Adderall, dude, weird prescription pain medication that would do the trick. And that's the other thing, like a lean was such a thing, like drinking lean with like Sprite or something and ice. We would go to Giant Eagle, and my buddy would steal fucking Robitussin, and we would chug Robitussin. You talking about a weird slump high? Don't ever do that shit, man. That was such a weird one. I didn't like Robitussin. A live race? Heck yeah. Yeah, I know this is like a really weird topic, but I don't care, man. I'll share everything. I don't really care. I never did heroin. I've never been around heroin. I've never been around cocaine. I've never been around crack. I've never been around I guess you can say serious drugs. I mean, I've been around, never did meth. Um was close to it but never did. Um But you know, like LSD and painkillers and shit like that. That was weird time. Yeah, never had the option. I don't think anybody I've ever known has done heroin, which is really good considering it's such a relevant drug nowadays. Uh, we never, we never did that. Shrooms? No, no, never did shrooms. That probably would have been a better thing to do, to be honest. That's more pure. That's more natural. Those peyote mushrooms grow on cow shit. If you don't know, um, peyote mushrooms grow on cow crap. The Native Americans learned that. Right. And I know, and that's the thing. I've always been told, you know, like it's a freaking amazing high, but you're playing with your life every time you do it. And I never liked that idea. I'm like, dude, I just want to do something to have some fun. You know what I mean? Like, smoke something, do something, have some fun, you know, go to bed, wake up. Heroin was not the drug for that, you know. Yeah, shrooms definitely go crazy, bro. Right, right. If you have surgery or something, they will feed you morphine or oxys. Yeah, bro. Dude, that is weird. That is another thing. There's a huge thing with nitrous oxide, whippets, or you know, you can huff freaking computer cleaner spray. You can huff like paint, like random shit. I'm glad I never did that crap because that will like kill brain cells like instantly. Like you get like a 10-second high. Like you can huff freaking um Cool Whip spray. You can inhale that shit and it gets you high. I'm like, no, 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 no. Don't do that crap. It's not worth killing your brain cells over. You know what I mean? I mean, in a way, crispy. Like you clean them up and everything. There's psilocybin. There's peyote. There's multiple types of psychedelic mushrooms. But don't go out there picking mushrooms and thinking I'm gonna eat this and get high off it because you can get killed off a lot of different mushrooms. Know what you're doing. Don't do it though, for real. Um, any kind of psychedelic, I don't know, man. You got to be in a controlled environment. You gotta have the good mental stability if you're dealing with shit in your life. Like right now, for me, I probably wouldn't want to do it, man, because it would not be good for me. It'd be like negative things would come out. I had a buddy one time. This is funny about acid stories. I had a buddy, and we were hanging out at the time. They had dropped acid, and we were hanging out doing whatever else. We were in my basement, which was a pretty, you know, creepy looking basement, and I had a desk with opening doors. We had our liquor in there and whatever else. I had my PS2 in the drawer. That's a funny thing. I had my PS2. I had a TV. Um, he randomly jumped up and ran out of the garage and ran down the street. My buddies had to run after him. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So when they came back, they're like, hey man, he just had a bad experience. And he's like, dude, I just saw spiders. They were crawling all out underneath that. Like, what are you talking about, man? There's no spiders in here. There's probably freaking silver spiders up on the top of the roof and stuff or the ceiling. But what are you talking about? I just saw spiders, man. They started crawling all underneath that desk and this and that. He's arachnophobic, so he had a bad experience with that with LSD. Couple bad experiences. Yeah, exactly. A little, technically, yeah. Yeah, exactly. The host zombies, right? Yeah, I mean, I never. I remember when I did that. I I did see slight colors, but again, this was not pure LSD. This was crap on the streets. I did see colors, um, and a lot of intense ringing in the ears. I'm talking like siren sound is like a wee 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 kind of noise, and it was freaking me out, man. And we were coming back from our dealer's house, and then we saw another friend of ours who was actually going there to get something else, and we're like, dude, can you freaking walk us home right now? Like we're like tripping really hard. He's like, dude, I gotta go get my stuff. So they walked away. We continued walking, and that's whenever the other part of the story happened. But I remember sitting in my room and staring at like my TV after I woke back up, and I was hearing all these weird like if you hear like a police scanner and they're talking about random stuff, it was like you were hearing random things and seeing things, and it was never like, oh, I saw a freaking pony jump across my room. It was nothing like that, but it was very weird. Is it? Yeah, peyote grows different. I forget. Jesus Christ. Peyote grows on something else. Is it psilocybin mushrooms that grow on cow shit? I forget. Really? Yeah, I'm not sure which area you're from, Eddie. But yeah, man, dude, so many cool stories that are like you look back on them, you're like, yeah, I regret that. Addicts, mental health people. Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, anybody can be helped of all three of those categories. Anybody that's addicted to something, they can be helped. Mental health is very, very important. You can always help that as well. And the homeless, you can always help that. Oh yeah, a lot of drugs come out of there for sure. Yeah, we were getting pot straight out of Cali, bro. There's a trick that you can do. I'm not gonna get into it too much, where you can legally ship pot. And dude, we were getting amazing stuff from California. And dude, this was like you would cut the thing open and it'd just be like like everything would just smell like it. Like, I can't even imagine now. And the point I'm in now of doing something like that, I couldn't even smoke a joint now. Like it'd be all over my clothes. It would be in my apartment. It like everybody'd know. It's not even worth it. Plus my job. I care about my job way too much, man. If I were to knock a pallet over, break a couple $1,000s worth of stuff, or hurt myself somehow, it'd probably be my luck with doing something like that. And then within 2 weeks, I get drug tested or something. Yeah, psilocybin, right, right. There is still some pretty good mental health help, at least in my area. There's still some pretty good help like that. You peel the label off of your drinks. Um, because my job, at least, they offer a lot of stuff like that. I haven't actually asked because I really don't want to get involved with any of that because I don't really need anything. I need somebody to talk to sometimes. That's why I come here to you guys. But yeah, that's another thing. Like I remember, we were mostly about just smoking some pot. That's all it was. It was a couple teenager kids sitting around the garage, doing stuff like that. Whatever. We play Xbox. We listen to music. But my one buddy who was he had a very this is something I've learned a lot, which I also personally deal with, is a very addictive personality, um, which I dealt with pot. I mean, I've smoked so much pot in my life, and I have no shame in it because I mean, you could drug test me right now, I'd be completely clean. I haven't smoked pot in 2 years. Um, some of the very first videos on my channel, I was very rough with my videos. It was kind of a nervousness of like you're starting a YouTube channel, but it was also like I'm stoned. But there's a thing called addictive personality where you get into something and you attach to it, whether it be a relationship, whether it be collecting. There you go. I did that. Um, like I said, smoking the weed, that was very addictive, but it's not an actual addiction. I kicked it instantly. I'm like, when we were moving out of my mom's house, I knew I had to get a job and we were moving into a new place. So I stopped right there. No more. Didn't do it. But I've known a lot of people that have been very addictive with what they do. Yeah, pot stores, right? Pot's everywhere. Yeah, pot's everywhere here, bro. It's just police now do mental health evaluations. Never a good scenario. Yeah, because that's bullshit too. Those cops don't. They're not trained psychiatrists. They don't know what to look for. They can see you having a freaking bad day, and they're like, "Oh, you're schizophrenic," and then you go somewhere. Look at 100 years ago, they were cutting people's brains open, doing lobotomies, thinking that would help somebody. Bro Stone filming his first video. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, those first couple ones, I'm like, all right, this is the first video like this on my channel. Here's my Hot Wheels haul. Here's a Jeep Gladiator, whatever. I mean, it's not apparent. Like, I'm not like, what's up, guys? This is the first video. Like, it wasn't anything like that. It was just a matter of, that's what I was doing at the time, you know? Kardashian's worst drug there is. Glad I never watched any of that crap. Yeah, right? Yeah, drugs can kill. Exactly. I know that for a fact, man. Like I said, I had a buddy, um, really cool guy, man. I think now that I look back on it, he had a lot of issues as well. But he got into some more serious drugs, and like I said, he committed suicide, and we lost him. Um, but he was one of the ones that got into doing the meth. Excuse me, because I remember one time we went and we got some stuff. He was with us. He went in to get it. He comes back out later, and he was just like staring at the floor of the car, and we're like, "Hey man, did you go in there and get that?" And he's like, "Nah." And we're like, "Dude, did you go in there and do that?" And he's like kind of, made it apparent that's what he went and did. And we're like, "Dude, get the fuck out of the car." And he got out. We went about our day. Like, dude, we just wasted our time coming here to do that. Like, get our whatever we were getting. And I've seen it done. I had John Doe. What's up, brother? Again, hey man, I know I've responded to your email like way late. If anybody's emailed me, I'm so sorry. A lot of my emails are labeled spam, so I have to go to my spam category at the bottom of my emails. Like, it's so stupid. A bunch of people are there. I'm sorry, guys. Um, yeah, man. Like, I never died from anything I did, thankfully, for sure. Um, but yeah, so he got into that crap, and eventually, like I said, he committed suicide. Man, it was terrible. But another friend of mine, him and his girlfriend both got into the meth. And, I saw him do it before. Like, I'm like, dude, you're staying that at my house and you're doing that shit. Like, really weird stuff. Like, freaking, the way I saw him do it was they put it on tinfoil and they were heating it up and, like, inhaling it and shit. I'm like, dude, this is, like, outside of what I'm used to kind of thing. I'm like, dude, we're in my mom's basement. Like, you're doing that shit, you know? And, they didn't stay in my house for very long after that. But I don't know how he's doing now. Most of those guys I don't talk to anymore. So wish them well always. I don't know how they're doing, but he was a great guy. But he's the only one I know that got into that stuff. Yeah, those cartels, man. Oh my God, you don't want to mess with those guys. They got a whole system going. You don't want to be involved in that. Yeah, for real, man. I mean, that was weird to me because I'm like, dude, we're doing our normal thing, and you're here doing that. Like, I remember one time he tried to get and this was another guy that died. Um, they were uh, they were doing the pill thing. Like I said, we've mentioned that they were doing painkillers and shit like that. A buddy had bought some stuff off this dude, and it was heart medicine, and he ended up taking it and like almost had a heart attack. Like, his fucking heart was going crazy, all this and that, and they figured out like this is like heart medication. He sold him fake shit, and later that guy got shot up with drugs by somebody in a car, and he died. And he was years older than us, but dude, he died way too young. He wasn't even like 20 something. I don't even remember how old he was at the time, but super fucking nice guy. I loved him to death, man. Me and my buddy Jordan, who you guys have seen here before, um, we always did this thing where we like smoke some weed or something, and we'd be like, all right, let's do something funny, right? Let's put a bunch of canned goods in the road and watch cars run them over. So we would do stupid shit like that. We put a can of like mixed vegetables in the street one night, and we're sitting there and we're like, all right, let's wait for cars to come by. And this dude comes stumbling down the road and picks it up, and he's looking at it, and he starts beating it off a telephone pole. We're like, what is this guy doing? And we're looking at him, we're like, dude, that's so and so. And my buddy's like, hey, like called out his name, so and so, and he looks over, and we're like, dude, what are you doing? And he's like, man, I'm like super drunk, this and that. And he comes and we have a bonfire. We started a bonfire in my backyard, and we're like, dude, you got some weed? And he's like, yeah, I always got weed, this and that. And this was so hilarious. We made a weed smoking device out of a chewing tobacco can, a drill bit, and a pen, like a pen you'd write with. So we took the pen apart, we put the tube in it, we melted the plastic, and we put a drill bit in it. So you can put the drill bit in with a screen, you put the shit in it, and you smoke it. Man, we're sitting around having a good ass time. We're getting stoned, all this and that. He goes off on his way eventually. We pass out in a tent in my backyard, and then we find out, like, however long later he died, man. And we're like, dude, this is wild. So that's two people that I know that we lost to drugs in my area. So, like, I'm glad we never got too involved in it. You know what I mean? Do any tricks with a vape? I could smoke it. That's all I can do. Sad man, yeah, for sure. This man had a thing of putting stuff on the road. Yeah, I always did that. I put Hot Wheels on the road as a kid, and then we put. I've told this story before. We put old paint cans in the street one night, and there was all of us, including the guy I'm talking about, who got involved in some other stuff. It was him and his girlfriend, my other buddy. It was like five of us, man. We were laying in the side yard, which there was a bunch of bushes, so like people couldn't really see us. There were these paint cans in my garage, and they were all dried up, old paint cans. We're like, dude, let's put these in the road. Man, we put these out in the road, and some car comes flying down the street like 30. It was 35 through there, so they're probably going 40, 45. They hit this paint can, and it goes boom, and it's just stuck in the wheel well on the right side of their car, and it's just grinding and spitting flames everywhere. And they stop, and we're like, oh my god, dude, that is awesome. They get out and they like throw the paint can aside and they go, and we're like, dude, that was so cool. But yeah, we had a time one time we were in the backyard and we're actively like smoking some weed, and then we see cop lights and we're like, oh shit. And we're looking, and the cops stopped and moved all of our shit out of the street, and we're looking, and they moved all the stuff, and then they left, and we're like, dude, they just moved all of our shit. Let's put it back. And it was like I said, random canned goods and stuff out of the pantry, and there was a meth house one time that got evicted, so they put all their shit on the curb. Man, they had all these like little knickknacks and stuff. We're out in the street at like 2 o'clock in the morning. We had these knickknacks, and we're winging them down the road, and they're going. They just explode, and glass would go everywhere. Oh man, funny ass times, man. But yeah, dude, I love that stuff. Man, dude, we had so many funny times. I got to get with Jordan sometime soon. We talk about this shit, man. Exploring abandoned hospitals, like we did so much as kids, man. And I miss that stuff, dude. I miss it. I wish I can do it now, but I go to jail if I got caught somewhere because you get trespassed and all that stuff. But yeah, there was a meth house um, they got evicted, and all their stuff was on the curb, and we're going through the pile like picking stuff out. There was a brand new fire extinguisher in there, and I'm like, dude, check this out. I popped the thing out of it, and I'm like, psh, we just lit up the whole road with fire extinguisher stuff, and it was a fun time. Sound was satisfied, can't lie. Yeah. Yeah, Jordan was in here before. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, he's one of my good buddies, man. I haven't seen him in a while. I need to go see him soon, man. Good buddy from the time I was a young teen, man. Very good buddy of mine. Did most of my experiences with Jordan. Almost everything was with him. Me and Jordan was sometimes we would go to there was a plaza next to our house. And we go back there and we like dumpster dive and stuff. We try to find cool stuff. We found this is fucking hilarious. We found orange cream Thin Mints that the dollar store had thrown away. We went around the town and told them that we were from the church and we were part of a Boy Scout group, which we were. We didn't tell them what troop or anything, but we're like, yeah, man, we're trying to sell these Thin Mints for a Boy Scout group, $1 a box. And all these people were buying fucking Thin Mints, and then we're like, shit, man, we got $20. Let's go buy some pot. And we go buy some weed, and we're sitting around laughing our asses off at all these people. Every time I go by those houses now, I'm like, dude, they bought Thin Mints off us for $1. That shit was expired in the dumpster. Dude, check out this new fire extinguisher. Yeah, for real, bro. Yeah, it was cool too. I remember it was one of the ones that's not like a foam, it was like a spray. So I like popped it and I'm like psh, just spraying it. The whole road was all fogged up and stuff. It was so funny. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I lived a crazy childhood, man. I love it, man. I wish I would have had more footage of it. I had a lot of footage of it, man. A lot of footage of it on my old phones and stuff, but a lot of it is on my mother's laptop. If I go see her soon, I'll try to get it off of there because that would be fucking epic to share at least 5-year-old videos or more of just awesome footage of random stuff that we did. That'd be so fun. But yeah, throwing the knickknacks down the street was hilarious. We were there and we were like, all right, here's a random knickknack. Bam! And it just exploded in the street. We're laughing our ass off. We're like, dude, that was so cool. Grab another one. And we're like, bam! And it exploded down the street. And then we're like, oh shit, a car's coming. Let's hide behind the bush. And then they'd run over all the glass and stuff. It was so funny. Yeah, man, it was such a fun time, man. I miss that stuff, bro. I miss that stuff. Thanks, bro. I appreciate it, Jared. Yeah, we always got some funny topics on my channel. You know that, bro. We always got some funny stuff to talk about. How about the time I assaulted a police car? Here's one for you. So, along with putting stuff in the street while stoned to shit, we got into this idea of let's find things that aren't destructive, but let's throw them at cars when they go by. So, again, this was years and years and years ago, so nothing could ever come up now. But there was a time. Oh yeah, Ryan was getting hurt back then. This was back when he got ran over by a truck. Yeah, Ryan's always been getting hurt. So we had a local police force. I grew up in Lakemore, Ohio. It's a little village community within Springfield, Akron. It's all one thing. It's a tiny little area, and so there was a huge burning bush, which is the species. I forget what the actual technical term is, but a very very large bush in my front yard, and we could hide behind that, and no one would see us coming. So they would drive up the street, we'd do something funny, they wouldn't see us because we're behind the bush. Well, one night, I think it was about 3 o'clock in the morning, we were grilling cinnamon rolls in the oven, cooking cinnamon rolls, and we're like, all right, bro, let's go out here and do something funny. I got this applesauce, little cups of applesauce in the pantry. I'm like, dude, this is gonna be so funny. I'm like, let's go throw this at a car when it drives by. So I'm sitting behind the bush, my buddy's on the porch, and he's watching the cars coming. He sees the headlights coming. This is a long road. You can see them coming from half a mile away. I'm like, dude, I hear a car. He's like, yeah, 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 there's a car coming. I'm like, is that a cop? And it was really close then. He's like, no, no, you're good. So I'm like this with the applesauce, right? I see the fender of the car and I throw it. And as I released it, I see Elise. It was a police car. And right when it smacked the car, I'm like, that's a police car. I threw an applesauce cup at a police car and it blew up on the side of the car. I'm like, oh my God. So we ran inside. I'm like, let's just act normal. Let's get the cinnamon rolls out of the oven. I burnt the shit out of myself grabbing it for whatever reason. I had a scar right here for a minute. I pulled it out and I burnt myself with it. I threw it on the counter. We go and we crouch down. We're looking out the window, and this cop car is just creeping down the street with his lights on, looking with a spotlight, like, what the hell just happened? And we're like, dude, we just assaulted a cop car. Like, what do we do? And we're sitting in my bay window in my front room, my mom's house, and we're staring out the window, and all these cops are going by, all this and that. And we're like, dude, we're staying inside for the night. And it was like 4 or 5 in the morning. We're finally like, I think we're okay. They're gone. Dude, we saw that cop car driving around town for the next few months. Freaking big dent in the side of it from that applesauce cup. I'm dying laughing. I'm like, dude, we literally did that, bro. Yeah. Yeah, he did. Yeah, that's the thing about Crash Test Dummy Ryan. Ryan was riding a go-kart around one time, and I don't know what the hell he did, but his Silverado truck was coming down the road and just ran him over. Like he pulled out in front of him or something, vice versa. And he had like major surgery on his legs, and he's got like a huge ass scar and stuff all the way down. But I need Ryan on the stream soon. We'll definitely do that. I have to set a date for it. I'll make a post so you guys know to be there. But yeah, Ryan got all sorts of jacked up from that one. Yeah, we also call Ryan Scruffaluffagus. Ryan always had real like nappy hair and shit. We always called him Scruffaluffagus and Scruffy and stuff like that. Kind of like lightweight bullying, but I'm glad that Ryan realized we're just his buddies and we're not being a dick, you know? Yeah, dude. Straight up dented the side of a cop car with an applesauce cup. Yeah, I don't even know what ever happened to that. If I remember right, he left it in his yard for a long time. Yeah, we were dem boys back in the day, man. We had some fun. I'm trying to think of some other. We used to. Okay, so here's another thing. We would go to the plaza next to my house, and there was a GNC, like a General Nutrition Center. They'd have like protein drinks and stuff like that. Well, we bought a squeaky toy, like a little bone that squeaked from this one store. And we're like, dude, we can mess around with this. We would go by the GNC at night, and we'd bang on the window with it, and we take off running, right? Well, we go around the back of the plaza, and they came out the back door, and they're like, "Hey, man, we're gonna call the freaking cops. Like, you guys can't do that, this and that." And we take off running and stuff like that. It was so fun. Yeah, Ohio it's where I dwell, man. It's where I dwell. But we also one time we it was really snowy. It was the middle of winter. We were up at the plaza doing whatever, and we were probably 100 yards from these people. We saw these two guys walk around the building. We're like, "Hey, hey!" And they look at us and we're like, "Fuck you!" And they're like, "What?" And we're like, "Fuck you!" And they just start chasing us. And we ran for like 2 minutes, and we got to the top of this hill. We see them; they're like running around looking for us, and we're like, that was so funny, man. We just randomly cussed out these guys for no reason. Like we saw them, we're like, "Hey, f you," and they started chasing us, and we started taking off running and stuff. Man, we done some crazy shit, man. That was a funny one. Yeah, the snow is deep. We hid behind a big snow pile one time because at the plaza they had to plow all the concrete so cars could park. Man, it was like a 10-foot snow mountain. We're hiding behind it, and we're like, "What can we do?" All right, this dude just came out of that building over there with his girlfriend. We're like, "Hey, man," he's like, "Huh?" We're like, "Your Ford's fucking gay," and that was back before that. We realized that term is not acceptable. We're like, "Dude, your Ford's gay," and he's like, "Fuck you guys," and we're like, "What are you gonna do?" And he's like, he just got in his truck and drove off. I'm like, man, we're like 14 years old. Yeah, bro. For real though, that's we did that stupid shit like that. We would hide and yell at random people. Like that was the fun that we would do. We would hide behind bushes and yell at cars driving by, like stupid shit like that. But that one was funny. The one time it got serious though, we were hiding in the woods next to the plaza, and we were making random noises at people. We were screaming at people, and as we walked away, I forget what it was, but I had something glass, and I exploded on the ground. Then we look up, and there's a cop car coming right at us, and I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And we're just like, "How you doing?" We walk away. He's like, "Dude, I'm gonna go home. This is too hot right now." I'm like, "Yeah, we'll link up later, right?" So his house was this way, my house was this way. I go to my house. They end up knocking on my fucking door, and I come down, and she's like, "Yeah, we had reports that you were telling people at the plaza to go kill themselves." I'm like, "What?" They're like, "Yeah, we know you were at the plaza yelling at people, and you told him to do this. I'm like, no, 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 no. I never said that to anybody, because even back then, I'm like, you don't tell somebody to do that, especially now. You don't. I love mental health and I really respect it. But this cop comes to my house and tries to tell me that we were telling people to kill themselves. And I'm like, no, you got it all fucked up. So eventually they end up leaving all this and that. But yeah, that got misinterpreted a lot. They came to my house and everything. I'm like, no, you got it messed up. Oh, another story of the cops. We're on a roll tonight, guys. So let me take a drink first. This is a good one. You're going to want to hear this one. All right, Bog, man. Thanks for being here, brother. Thanks for dealing with the madness. So I remember one time, man, I was really young at this time. I might not even have been 13 yet. I was probably 12 or 11 or something. I've always loved fishing, so I had fishing line, and I tied this little circular thing to it and put it out in the street. Well, we were sitting there, and I had a buddy who lived at the end of the road at the time, and I'm like, let's throw this out in the road, okay? Let's wait for a car to come by, and we'll pull it underneath the wheel and watch it get run over. Ha ha ha! So funny. Well, it didn't go that way. A car comes by. I yanked this thing under the tire, and it got wound up, and it flew up and shattered their back glass of their car, which I didn't know at the time. And I'm like, oh shit, let's go. So we go and run behind this Ford Ranger that was parked in my side yard. And we're sitting there. I'm like, dude, let's just sit. Let's sit. Let's just wait for him to go. He's like, nah, I got to run home. So he starts running down the street, like running. So the car turns around and sees him running, follows him to his house. And he's like, it wasn't me. It was the dude at the end of the street. He lives right there. So the car comes to my house. It was this woman in military pants and combat boots. And I'm in the house and I'm like, what can I do? I grab my freaking airsoft handgun and I'm sitting there like waiting. And they start beating on my front door. Open the door, kid. Open the door. And I'm like, no, 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 no. So I hide underneath my mom's bed. This is how young I was. And cops all show up. My neighbor comes over and he's looking for me. He opens my mom's bedroom door. He's like, open the door. We need you to come out. He comes in the bedroom, looks under my mom's bed, makes eye contact with me and walks away. He goes out there and tells them he's not in here. My grandmother comes out from Akron, which was like maybe 10, 15 minutes down the road. And she comes in and she's like, Christopher, you need to come out. And I'm like, I didn't do anything. Da, 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 da. I come walking out, and the cops are like, telling me what all happened, all this and that. Dude, I got charged with juvenile criminal mischief at 12 years old. And it was in the fucking newspaper, dude. We hung it up on my fridge as like a little plaque. Never carried over to my record or anything like that. They never, I never went to court or anything, but man, that lady wasn't even from our town. She was just driving through and I tore her car all up with a freaking fishing line and a little plastic thing. Hilarious, man. That's a little, where they look. Oh my god. Yeah, dude, and that dude snitched on me for real. I was in fifth grades, or he was in fifth and I was in fourth. Dude, I was like freaking holy, like 12. Yeah, I never talked to that dude again after that. I'm like, nah, you fake as hell, bro. Never talked to him again. But yeah, he straight up snitched. The cops come to my house, like I said, and then I come out with my grandmother, and they tell me, they're like, yeah, your buddy down the road said that you did it, and he told us all the stuff you did, because we used to tie stuffed animal birds to fishing line, and we'd throw it over the power lines, and it would like tangle up and hang there, and it looked kind of funny. They're like, yeah, he told us all about you throwing stuff over the power lines and all this and that. I'm like, right. And they're like, yeah, you need to pick your friends better, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, right. Never talked to the dude after that. I'm like, screw this guy. Yeah, I dead ass made the newspaper. It was like two juveniles from Lakemore and from South Akron, because his wherever he actually lived, it was his grandparents' house down the road where he got dropped off for school. He lived in South Akron, so it was like two juveniles from South Akron were charged with juvenile criminal mischief after inflicting damage on a I think the lady was from like South Boardman or something. South Boardman lady's car, and they were leased to their grandparents, which was true. My grandmother came, they let me go with her. He went with his grandparents. It was geeky as hell, dude. Yeah, I made the newspaper that time, bro. Only been in a cop car a couple times in my life. Um, Other time was exploring that abandoned hospital. Got caught up there. They took me home, but that was funny as hell. I'm in the back of a cop car chatting it up with this cop, like, "Hey, what was this abandoned building for? What was that building for?" He was super cool, but the most recent time in a cop car was getting pulled over a couple days ago. Um, and apparently I smelled like pot because everybody at the concert was smoking weed, and I was moshing around, beating people up and everything, and I smelled like weed after that. So they pulled me out of my car and they're like, I'm the only cop here. You got to sit in the back of my car, interlace your fingers. I'm not gonna cuff you. Blah blah blah. And he does the whole thing of how much have you had to drink tonight? I'm like, dude, I didn't drink anything. I had to drive 45 minutes back home. He's like, all right, how much weed's in your car? I'm like, there's nothing in that car, bro. I haven't smoked pot in 2 years. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna pull this pen out and here's your Miranda rights, blah blah blah, the Miranda rights kind of speech they give you. He's like, stare at this pen, follow it with your eyes only. And I'm like, dude, I've watched cops my whole fucking life. I know what this is. Follow it with your eyes only. I'm like, and then he does this. He goes, and he's fucking staring at me, and I'm like, I can feel him looking at me, and I'm like, but I can't do it perfectly now, but And he's like, all right, well, blah 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 blah. He tells me all this other stuff, and then he's like, have a good night, and I'm like, all right. And I just get back in my car and leave. And he's like, do you have an oil leak on your car, by the way? Because the thing smokes from the valve cover leak. And I'm like, yeah, it's got a valve cover leak. And he's like, oh, that's an easy fix, blah, blah, blah. But super funny story about that. My Jeep that I've had for 3 months, my dumbass never went to the title bureau and got the title completely finished. I'm thinking, I went to a notary. I had the owner of the vehicle sign off. My name's on it. It's my car now. I have insurance. I buy plates or I buy tags for it. It's mine. I find out 7 hours prior to getting pulled over, it's not even in your name. This is so and so's vehicle still. Your name's not on the front of this title. So I'm like, all right, how did I buy a tag for it? How do I have insurance for it? Well, you need to go to the title bureau over on such and such street. I'm like, all right, well, I'll do that before I drive to Youngstown, 45 minutes away from my home. I go there, I get my tags, or I get my plates rather, and all that good stuff. I put it in my window, I go. If I had not done that 7 hours prior to that and I got pulled over, I would have went to jail for sure. Because it would have been someone else's car, expired tags, and you smell like pot. So I would have been burned if I hadn't done that. I'm like, dude, I am so fucking lucky right now. I was shitting my pants, man. My mom still has that newspaper clipping. I need to find that, bro. I need to get that from her. Never read newspapers, me either, bro. He probably did because he went through my shit, bro. He's like, all right, well, with the smell of pot, we have the right to search, which he didn't ask me. He didn't say, do I have consent to search your vehicle? He just was like, oh, with the smell of pot, we can look through it. Dude, I sat in the back of that cop car for about 3 minutes, and I know he went through my shit because I had my vest with all my band patches on it and shit. I took that off because I was really hot and everything. I had it in my front seat. I get back in my car. That is completely moved. I had a cigarette pack with a cigarette butt in it. That was moved. So I know he looked through my shit. And he even asked me, he's like, are you living out of your car or something? I'm like, nah, bro, this is all my flea market stuff. This is all the crap I collect, this and that. And he's like, oh, you got a lot of stuff in there. I'm like, yeah. And he's like, you got any weapons in your car? I'm like, yeah, I got a baseball bat in the back seat. And he's like, all right. And then he goes and looks, comes back. I'm like, oh, my bad, by the way. I have a pocket knife in the front seat for my job, which I do. I have a pocket knife I use in my job. He's like, oh, I'm not worried about that, blah, blah, blah. But he did look through my car. So I guarantee you he saw fucking Hot Wheels and shippers and CDs and Freaking Santa Claus in the back seat. He's probably like, what the fuck? Get out of here, dude. Yeah, never been to jail for pot, man. Had a lot of pot in my life, but never went to jail for it. Never got in trouble with marijuana. Never, ever got in trouble with it. Trying to think if I ever even been close to it. Nah, never. One time we blew up the block on 4th of July with fireworks in the middle of the road in the neighbor's yard, and I had a blunt and I was smoking a blunt and everything. The cops show up and they're like, "Yeah, so we're here for some strange alien lights in the skies tonight, guys." And we're like, "Yeah, it's 4th of July and we're blowing up the block, blah blah." And he's like, "You guys need to be safe, blah blah blah. Keep it out of the road." Da, da, da. And I'm like hiding this fucking blunt from the cops. He was a nice guy, but yeah, man, we had some funny ass times like that. Yeah, the cop come by and he's like, "Alien lights, for fireworks." He was just joking with us. Yeah, I made it in the newspaper before I was a teenager. Yep. That was a funny ass article. They put it in the fucking newspaper, my dude. In the newspaper. My mom's like, "I'm gonna clip this out of there. I'm gonna put it in the fridge." And it was on the fridge. It probably is still there. Probably still there now. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other awesome stories like that. One time my neighbor took his garage doors off. They were wooden doors. And we burned them in my backyard. And the fire was so big that across the road at the park where the cops sat, the neighbor's house looked like it was on fire. It was all orange from the glow. They come by and we had to like put out the fire with a hose and shit like that, man. We done some crazy stuff. Teens are rebellious. I feel I'm still rebellious, man, but I don't want to go to jail, you know what I mean? So I stay out of trouble now. I'll spray paint some shit, but not too much. When I come back, we're gonna talk about whack. Whack was something that we smoked when we were teenagers. When I come back, we're gonna talk about that one. Jesus, man. There we go. We're gonna talk about whack when I come back. Yeah, too. So yeah, exactly, bro. All right. Jesus Christ. So the wax story. So we would sit in my basement and we'd grind up pot, right? And we'd have it on my desk. I had a big desk in my basement. So we'd grind it up, we'd smoke, we'd have our fun time. We'd come back like days later and we'd be like, "Dude, there's some crumbles on the desk of the pot." And we'd be like, "Let's smoke that shit." So we'd scrape up random pot off this table and dust and everything else, and we'd smoke it, and we'd be like, "Man, that was weird as shit." I'm like, that's some whack. So whack was a combination of old pot on a table, dust, and probably like moisture and mildew and everything else that built up on those tables in the basement. And we'd smoke that and we'd be like, bro, that's some whack right there. That was a funny one, man. We used to call that whack. But yeah, there's other things. So when you smoke pot, it's like a cigarette. It'll make like a tar in your device you're smoking with, and we would scrape said tar out, and it's literally like a sticky. It's called resin. We would smoke that shit out of there, man, and it would be so nasty. Like you would smoke it, and you'd instantly like hack up like black shit, man. I used to call it fiending. Whenever I didn't have any, I would scrape all my pieces, and I'd get that shit, and I would smoke it, and it'd bubble and pop and crack and stuff, and I'm like, dude, this is nasty, but it would get you stoned still, but it was like fiending. I was a dope fiend, man. I really was. It been all yeah, exactly, John B. Resin. Yeah, bro. Oh my god. Smoked resin a lot, man, and it's nasty, man. The next day you're like hacking worse than you smoked a cigarette. Yo, man, trying to smoke some rack. Trying to smoke some rack. Yeah, because it's a matter of if you didn't have a good screen, your shit would fall through. You'd have like roach weed almost. It'd be like if you smoked a joint, you saved what's at the bottom of your joint, you smoke it. It'd be like second, third, fourth generation roach weed. It'd be similar to that, man. It'd be like, oh yeah, it would get you good and stoned, but it was nasty, man. I'm telling you, man. You'd smoke freaking tar. Literally, you're putting a lighter to tar and you're inhaling it. It was weird. It'd do the job though. That's what I'm saying. You get into that and it's like you're fiending. You're looking for that. You're out of the normal stuff. You're looking for a secondary buzz, basically. Very weird. But yeah, it's weird time. Smoke Smarties is what he says. Well, yeah, man, I don't know. I think about like snorting a Smartie. That'd make more sense. Snorting shit's weird as fuck. Yeah, that's. Oh my god, don't do that. Snort Fun Dip, yeah, bro. Wouldn't get you high, but the idea is there. You can do that with painkillers and shit too. Yeah, saving that key from the grinder. Yeah, for sure, bro. We were too into it. We would never save anything. It'd be gone almost instantly. I remember I used to be able to take I would buy like Swisher Sweets or something, and this is before I knew about making a spliff. You put like a piece of cardboard or some shit at the bottom as a stopper. We used to take Swishers. They were two for 99 cents. So we're like, oh hell yeah, man, we got all this stuff. Let's buy a wrap, you know? You take all that tobacco out of it, you'd have a good tropical fusion is the one we usually got, or like mango or grape or some shit. White owls, those were really good as well. We'd take all the tobacco out of it, you know, and we'd leave a little bit in the bottom. So you'd have a little bit at the bottom, you could finish the whole thing, and then you got some tobacco. Well, I remember one time I had a really nice bong. It was the first one I ever had. And I was like, dude, fuck putting the stem in there. Let's put the whole blunt in it. And we'll just smoke it and then we'll pull the blunt out. Man, oh my god, I could feel it now. I did that one time and the tobacco was still at the bottom of the blunt. I'm ripping this thing and I pull it and I had smoked like half of that tobacco at the bottom. Took up a big old lunger and it was pure tobacco. Like a little bit of shit in there, but mostly tobacco. I coughed so fucking hard, dude. I literally was like watering. I was like crying, dude. It hurt so bad. It was like you're basically taking a bong rip of freaking tobacco. It was terrible. Like just nailing it. Honey Dutch Mess. I never had those. Seems legit. Yeah, man. I used to be able to roll a mad Blueberry Zigzag. Those were sick. I loved those. That was the one thing I could roll. Um, Joints I was never very good with. I didn't have the coordination. It was always really fucked up. But a Blueberry Zigzag, man, I could roll those really good. Um, it's been a long time, man, but I still enjoy talking about it. It's freaking legal everywhere, so what does it matter? But yeah, those were sick. They tasted great, all that good stuff. I'm trying to think of some really funny memories when it comes to doing that. I remember the first time I ever did it, ever smoked weed. It's on the back. I was on the porch of my buddy's house, and they had a tinfoil pipe that they made, and they're like, "You want to do this?" I'm like, I don't know, man." And I smoked it, and it didn't do anything for me. The second time, we were in my buddy's truck, and he had part of a bike pump, like the handle. They put a stem in. We smoked through that, and it was a drill bit. It was like a 10 millimeter drill bit or some shit like that socket. And we were smoking, and we were all getting stoned and shit. And they went to pull it, and my buddy burnt the hell out of his fingers. And he's like, "Oh!" And he like dropped it, and it like went all over the seat and stuff. And it was probably the funniest thing, man. Got any school stories? Oh my goodness, man. Where can we go with school stories? Let me think just some early ones. Do you want to hear the story of how I took a gun to school by mistake, or how the time I beat the shit out of somebody in the middle of the rotunda at school? Two options: gun story or beating the hell out of somebody. Which one do you want to hear? Two that weren't very good. That's an interesting name. What's up, my dude? Um, yeah, we'll go about both of them. So, um, I had this was probably ninth or 10th grade. I had a very realistic looking 357 Magnum pellet gun. Awesome gun, very cool. And I was walking around shooting stop signs with it and stuff like that, having fun. And we're like, "Oh yeah, there's a football game going on at the school tonight. Let's go to the football game." I'm like, "All right, let's go up there." Halftime, you get in for free. So it's like 10 o'clock at night or something, not even. And yeah, that name though, for real though, can't say I don't disagree with it. But so we go up there. I remember I had jeans and Ohio State hoodie on. Well, I had it tucked in my shit right here. We get in, we're walking around, and then I'm like, we're talking with people, having a fun time, talking to people we know from school and all that good stuff. And I'm like, dude, I have this gun on me. Holy shit, I'm in the middle of school, like football field right now. Like, oh my God. And I tell this dude I'm with, I'm like, "Hey, bro, I need to get out of here. Like, I got this gun on me." And they're like, "For real?" I'm like, "Yeah, come behind the porta potties real quick and show me." So I go behind the porta potties and I go like this and I pull my hoodie up. And he's like, "Nah, bro, you got to get out of here right now with that." I'm like, "I know, man." So we like run out of there. We run down the street. We run down this hill and we're on the streets again. And I'm like, "Dude, that is heavy. Like, I didn't even mean to take it with me. Like, I forgot I had it kind of thing. Like, I'm so used to carrying weapons with me all the time." So that was a big one. I could have went to literal jail for that one as a young teen for taking a pellet gun to school, not realizing that I had it on me. Well, I had it on me, but I didn't remember. Walk by the cops, talk to the cops, all that good stuff. And I'm like, dude, I'm freaking packing. It was a big ass thing, too. It was like this big. Big ass long barrel 357 looking ass pellet gun. CO2 power pellet gun. But the fight, that's a good one. That's one of the fights I really do remember in my life. I've never been in too many, but I love that one. Um, 10th grade year, sophomore year, I always wore this Russian like Ushanka looking hat. It came down, had the fuzz on it, all that good stuff. Came over the ears, and there was an autistic kid in our grade, or I think it was a year older than us. And on the bus, he grabbed it off my head, and he was like throwing it back and forth with some kids having fun. I'm like, "Yeah, it's funny. Hey, can I have my hat back?" And then this dude was like, "Yeah, give it to me. I'll throw it out the window real quick." And I'm like, "Nah, bro, you're not gonna throw my hat out the window. What you talking about? Like, give my hat back." And he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna throw your hat out the window." I'm like, "What's up, bro? Like, why are you trying to throw my hat out the window?" And he's like, we started talking shit back and forth, and everybody's like filming it and all this funny stuff. And I'm like, "Bro, Is there an issue? Like, why you got a problem with me? Why are you gonna throw my hat out the window? Like, what's up with that? And oh, I'll beat your fucking ass. Da, 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 da. I'm like, all right, bro. I'm like, where do you want to meet up then? Like, what's up? Like, you live right down the street from me. Like, what's up? I'm like, school's almost over. We're on the way back from school because I went to trade school. So we were on the way back from that. I'm like, what's up then, bro? And so we're talking shit, this and that. We were like going to meet up at the park or something. We never really set a time. School gets out. I'm standing around the middle of the school, the rotunda area. This dude comes up to me and he's like, all right, bro. So where are we going to meet up? This and that. I'm like, bro, I told you right now, I'll beat your ass right here. Like, if you got a problem with me, you're going to throw my shit out the window. Like, what's up? He gets in my face and he starts like yelling and like spitting and shit at me. And I just blast this dude away from me. I just pushed him out of my space. He comes running back at me. I'm like, nah, just nail this fucking kid. Like, hit him right in the mouth. And I hit him a few times. And in the midst of us going at it, my hat turned in my face, so I couldn't see anything. So I grabbed for something and I'm just punching this kid. I'm just wailing on him. And he falls and I'm punching it. I don't even know what I'm punching at. I can't see anything. And after like 15 seconds, somebody grabs me by my backpack and pulls me off. And my hat turns. I get up and it's this big ass kid in my grade. And I push him and I'm like, dude, this isn't between me and you. This is between me and him. And when I turn and look, kid's getting up and running out of the school. I'm like, that's what you get, dude. You want to fuck with me? I'll punch you in the face. And like all these teachers are like, oh, dude. And I'm like, I got to get out of here. So while that dude pulled me off, before he let me go, my homie Jordan, who you guys have seen in here, he's like, "Get the fuck off of him!" And I hear that, and I'm like, "That's my dude. That's my brother." And the dude lets me go, and that's when I get up and told him, "This isn't between me and you. It's between me and him." Blah blah blah. A kid runs out. I see Jordan. I'm like, "Dude, let's get the fuck out of here." So like, we start walking out, and one of the teachers runs up, and he's like, "Dude, you got to come back to the office. Like, I saw what happened." I'm like, all right, Jordan, I'll see you later, bro. I go to the office. They're like, what happened? I explained to them what happened on the bus, all that stuff. I beat the fuck out of him in the hallway. He came at me. They look at the cameras and they couldn't see because of all the people leaving the school. They just see him come at me and me just beat the fuck out of him. So I write a report. I tell them all that happened. I got suspended for 5 fucking days out of school suspension, which my mom was like, you defended yourself. Fuck that. You get a 5-day vacation, basically. So 2 years later, that dude came up to me and was like, hey, man, that was stupid. I'm sorry. You got a good sucker punch in on me, though. I'm like, hey, man, you wanted to fight. Like, we fought. Like, what's up, you know? But he apologized. We shook each other's hands and went about our lives. I haven't heard from him since, but I love that man. Dude wanted to fuck with me. I punched him in the face a couple times. Like, what do you? And that's the other thing. While I was holding on to him like this, when the dude ripped me off, I pulled his. He had headphones on. I ripped him in half. Like I tore his headphones out of his phone, out of his pocket, and like just tore his headphones apart. I was so pissed off, man. Eric Harris, who the hell is that? Wouldn't let that slide, right? Exactly. Wait. So you were beating the shit out of this some kid or a different kid? Yeah, the same dude. So the dude that wanted to throw my hat out the window, he came up to me after we talked shit, and we commenced a fight. That's what happened. Yeah, I knew him prior to that. Yeah, that's another thing. So I should mention this. I did know him prior. We did hang out a few times, and he was kind of a dickhead. And I saw him one time in the cafeteria by himself, and I walked up to him like, "Hey man, why are you over here by yourself?" And he's like, "Dude, I want to fucking talk to you. Like, what's your issue, dude?" I'm like, "What's up?" And he's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you, bro." I'm like, "Do you want a problem or something, bro?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, I got a problem with you." I'm like, "All right, bro, you got a problem? You got one, bro." And I walked off, and that's what ended up happening. How many ever weeks later or whatever. Yeah, he got a lesson learned, all right. He came and apologized 2 years later. I think he learned his lesson. Learned his lesson. I'm not all about violence, but you fuck with me, like I'm gonna beat the shit out of you. I'm sorry. And I'm not big into violence. Like, dude, I don't need violence. But this dude wanted to start some shit like, I'll throw your hat out the window. Like, Come on, my dude. Like, you don't gotta even get involved. Like, let the autistic kid have some fun. He was a really nice kid. I'm like, hey, can I have my hat back? And then he's like, hand it to me. I'll throw it out the window. He was like 2 seats up. I'm like, what? Like, bro, get out of here. F-35 kid, what's up, bro? Yeah, it's 2:56 a.m. here. Damn, I gotta work at I think like noon tomorrow or today. Jesus. I'll get a new fish tank. Dude, we can talk about fish all night long. I love fish tanks, man. I have one here, but I had 8 previously before I moved. Diamond's still here hanging out, being an OG. Thanks, brother. What's the closest I ever come to death? I have multiple stories on that one. Wow. So overdosing on acid twice, that's pretty close. Um, One time I had a buddy who had a lifted 2500 Dodge Ram. It was like a 90s model. V10 or V8, one of the two. I think it was a V8. And I was sitting on the toolbox, the diamond plating toolbox in the back. And we would always convoy out of the school. We'd always have a fun time. I ran with the Hick Boys back then, man. I was come from like a white trash background, so like I was always hanging out with those kind of guys. So I'm like, yeah, man, let's roll out of the school. And so we're pulling up to the stop sign at the end of the school. I'm like, hey, I'm leaning over the cab and I'm like, hey, bro, fucking gun it. Like, just nail it out of here. Burn them out. Let's go. And he's like, all right. So I'm sitting on the toolbox, hanging onto the cab. He guns it, man. Like, absolutely guns it. I literally, from the force of him swinging the truck, I flew off the side. And I'm holding onto the side of the bed, and my feet are dragging the ground. And I was able to pull myself up in, and like 3 blocks down the road is where I live. So he dropped me off. I get out. I'm like, holy fuck, that was scary. Dude that lived next to me was walking down the road, and he's like, dude, I saw all that. He's like, you were this close to getting your feet sucked under his back tire. He had like 38 super swampers or something. He had some big ass mud tires on this truck. I was that close to getting sucked under that back tire. Would have gotten crippled, man. I would have been killed or crippled for sure. So that was very, very scary. Like I said, the overdose on acid and that one, those are the two. Crashing my car in March, that was pretty close. I spun out a few times. That could have been pretty bad. I passed by that spot all the time. And where I crashed, I was like literal feet from a very large ditch that if I would have went down in, I probably would have smacked my head off the steering wheel or something, man. Very scary. Yeah, the Yee Yee boys. Oh yeah. Yeah, truck story. That was scary, man. That was scary for sure. I didn't realize it, but whenever that dude told me, like, man, you were that close. You could have been sucked under that back tire. Very scary. I haven't talked to that guy, the dude I was riding his truck with for many years. That's brutal, yeah, for sure. Yeah, that one was crazy, man. I don't know what to think of that. That was just stuff you go through. Excited. It's not that exciting, man, but yeah, that was fun. That was more alarming than anything. That was like freaky. Like you never know what could happen, kind of thing. The Subaru Japanese, yeah, it's one of the Japanese cars. Yep, Subaru, Toyota, Honda. I'm probably leaving some out. Datsun, obviously. But yeah, that one was wild. Maybe in going around the woods in southern Ohio with a shotgun, and we were tracking a deer. I wasn't really hunting. I didn't even have the right rounds for deer hunting. We were just down there target shooting, and we are all fucked up. And we're like, all right, man, let's follow these deer tracks. And we're following these deer tracks, and we're walking around these silent ass woods. It was evening time, it wasn't dark yet, and we just hear bam, 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 and all these gunshots are going off, probably like 200-300 yards away. And I'm like, someone's pissed that we're here in their area. And the dude I was with is like, fucking man, let's let them know we're here. And I'm like, all right, bam, bam, bam. And I just start firing off shotgun rounds. And that one could have turned into a very bad shootout between deer hunter and people in the wrong area. That one was also very close. Oh shit, yeah, definitely oh shit moment, bro. I gotta think about it, man. There's been many times, like I said, many times it's been close. With firearms, it's always been really safe. I've never been in like Damn, I almost got shot. That was a pretty close one. I could have got shot that time. I remember one time I was fucking tore up off of tons of beer, smoking weed, and vodka. And I'm like, I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna shoot a bunch of guns. And I was probably like 15 at the time. I go outside and there was this tree line right next to this camper I was staying in. And I got a 20 gauge shotgun, I got 38 handgun, I got all these different guns. And I'm just lighting up this tree line, man. I'm shooting guns, I'm having a fun time, lighting up the dark, you know. The next day I get up and I'm like, dude, those trees are like 15 yards away. Like a bullet could have easily come back and just killed me, man. So that was close as well. Definitely close. Yeah, those JDM cars, those are good ones, F-35 kid. Right, right, diamonds. Yep, yep. Yep, yep. Yeah, but there's been a lot of times, man. There's been a lot of weird stuff that could have ended very badly. I've had some weird instances for sure. I mean, you got to think of all the mosh pits I've been in. I could have been killed a ton of times and stuff like that. Like I said, I got a tooth, half a tooth knocked out at this last show I was at. That was interesting. But I hold my own. I'm a 160 pound guy, but like I'll beat the fuck out of you, like for fun, obviously. But um, yeah, I've had some interesting ones. I've had some interesting. I've seen broken legs, broken noses, things like that. Paranormal stories since October. Oh man, tons of them. You need to subscribe to my channel, my dude, because we can talk all night long about this. There was a tuberculosis sanitarium that was built in 1914 in my state. Like from where I live now, just a couple miles down the road. It was a half mile, not even from my home where I grew up. And it was a 100-acre property, and there was a cemetery with 235 people buried there. Because people were dying left and right in this place. They had to bury them somewhere. So there's a cemetery on the property. There was catacombs, tunnels underneath this whole property. There was many, many buildings, and it was glorious. Me and my friends explored it many times. I went there because I was in a weird phase in my teenage years. I would go there at night, and I would sit by myself in the dark. And I'm a very spiritual person, so I like really felt like I was there with somebody, you know. Old school or new school, which is higher on the list? Depends on what it is, man. Yeah, me and Ryan are gonna have a good stream whenever he comes around for sure. Oh, that's a place that got torn down, Crispy. Yeah, 2017 they tore that one down, unfortunately. A lot of asbestos, a lot of vandalism. It was, it was time for it to go, unfortunately. It was up for over 100 years, what can you do? A lot of demolition on that property, man. I remember sneaking in there when they were demolishing it, and I would run up and steal bricks, and the security would try to chase us, but we were in the woods. They couldn't catch us. That was a glorious place, man. I miss it very much. But me and Jordan will talk about that when I get him on one night. We'll have a good stream about that. I got to get with him sometime and make a whole stream about it. We could talk about, like I said, assaulting a police car and all that funny stuff. Jordan will probably come up with more stories that I don't remember. I remember one time I fell down the stairs of my buddy's house, and that was hilarious. I had a dip can in my back pocket and ripped my pants, ripped the pocket right wide open. That was a funny one. That was probably 2015 or not even that. We'll get that. Well, yeah, we'll definitely get to those stories. Those are funny ones. But Ryan seems to be doing okay. I saw him a couple days ago. He came through my work and we are talking. He's like, "Hey man, how was your concert?" And I'm like, "Hey man, I carried on your legacy. I lost part of a tooth this time," and we were laughing and all that. Yeah, Ryan is just the one that he gets hurt every time. Oh, it's done. Heck yeah. Yeah, I've seen Ryan dislocate 3 fingers. I've seen Ryan lose teeth. I've seen Ryan. Oh my God, what has Ryan not done? He's the king of getting hurt at concerts. He just can't stay on his feet or can't avoid the violent people. I don't know. Funny ass guy though. Dude, Ryan, dude. Yeah, that would be a banger of a stream for sure. That would be a banger. I'll rip the spoiler off and tore the front end off. That'd be a good like crash scene, like it was going too fast kind of thing.
What the fuck is my vape?
Cause I charged it. It still works. It still works. Take it then. But yeah, that'd be a banger to talk about for sure. Sports car junkyard, yeah. Good crash scene, heck yeah. I put little cop cars around it, and be like they were chasing him or something funny. That'd be awesome. Oh yeah, that'd be cool. Smashed into a Hot Wheels truck, that'd be cool. Oh man. Let me think of some other ones. I gotta dig into my brain. Remember one time, me and Jordan were sitting in I had a shed in my backyard, my mom's house, and we completely cleaned it out. We put couches and chairs and stuff in there. It was a little hangout. One time we were sitting in there, and we were all tore up and all that, as usual. And we looked out, and there was a squirrel on the tree, and it's sitting there doing its little like noise. And my buddy Jordan looks at it, and he's like, and he's making all these noises at it. I had the video for so long, and I look over at him, and I like zoomed in on his face really close, and he's like making all these noises at this squirrel. It's funny as fuck, dude. I know it makes no sense now, but it would make a lot of sense if you were there. Yeah, more abandoned places stories. Okay, um, so Edwin Shaw was the big one. That was the name of the sanitarium. Like I've talked about, walking through the tunnels at night. I will get those videos somehow. I will. If my mom still has a laptop, I'll get them, bro. Racing Lambo and hit a truck. Yeah, that'd be cool. That's a cool idea for sure. But we walked through there, man. It was like, oh my god. We would go at night specifically because the cops couldn't find us as easy. It's pitch black. They wouldn't see us moving around in our all black clothes and everything. As I still wear now, but we have a lot of the same interest. Jordan introduced me to Pantera at 13 years old. I showed him a lot of other awesome bands, but holy shit, yeah, we went through there at night all the time, and there was usually some pretty weird things that would occur. Like I said, his phone dying out of nowhere from walking through there. A lot of spiritual energy, man. A lot of energy. I want to do a lot more stuff like that. I plan now in this weird phase of life that I'm in at the moment. I'm gonna dive into a lot more stuff like that of spirituality, if you can say that. Certain aspects of beliefs. I plan to kind of get into it a little bit more. Just as an outlet, a lot of people get into whatever their beliefs are for relief of life. I kind of have to do the same thing. But I remember one time we were in North Carolina. There's a Civil War fort. Obviously, you probably know what the Civil War was. There's a Civil War fort in Havelock, North Carolina. It's called Fort Macon. And there was a battle there that took place. And a lot of fucking people died, man. A lot of people died. And I've told this story before. We were there one time. Twice this same occurrence happened in the same place. We were there for the first time. And there's a big kitchen with like a big brick oven and stuff where they cooked food and all that. And it was just me and my mother. We were reading this plaque about like the bread they cooked and things like that. And we heard like a noise. It was like like officers carried like a sword on their side. It was like a kind of like a clinky noise of like a sword on your side, or like maybe some pots and pans or something. It was very weird noise. And we both looked over like, the hell was that? And there was no one in that room with us. And we're like, that was weird. So that was kind of strange, whatever. We go back the next year, and we were outside of that same room, and we heard sweeping with like an old school broom, like a wicker broom or something like that, whoosh, 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 kind of noise. You know what I'm saying? And we're like, there's no one in that fucking room. Like, what's going on? And they were doing a reenactment by firing cannons out into the water. They fired a cannon, and it like freaked us out. We're like, holy shit. And that sweeping stopped. And we're like, wow, that was so cool. It was so loud. And then whoosh, whoosh, it just started up again. And there was no one in that room. We were right next to it, dude. I swear to God. So weird, man. That place is haunted as hell. Fort Macon in Havelock, North Carolina. Look it up. It's right on the water, right on the ocean. I love walking through old abandoned places. Me too, man. One kid tried to insult me and said, "You're so straight, you hit walls." So I said, "Actually, my sexuality is turned." Yeah, screw that, bro. Don't ever let anybody put you down for whatever you like, man. I'm super huge advocate and love whatever you like, man. It doesn't matter. I could say the same for myself, man. Nobody's perfect, You like whatever you like, man. Subi, what's up, brother? How you doing, man? Yeah, F-35 kid. Don't ever let anybody put you down for what you like. If you like something, you like it. That's all that matters, brother. That goes for everybody too. Don't ever let anybody put you down. Bad places and the hell I mean. Too bad there's none near me. Yeah, I feel that, bro. A lot has been torn down by me, bro. There, right down the road, I can, if it wasn't dark, I could damn near see the area from here. But there's an abandoned football stadium here called the Rubber Bowl in Akron, Ohio. Look that up if you haven't heard of it. It's been abandoned for a while. I got to explore that. Yeah, opinion, exactly. And everybody, opinion's like a butthole, man. Everybody's got one, and it usually stinks. Think of it that way. Your opinion stinks. Screw 'em, man. I get judgment every day. I got tattoos, piercings, gauges, and painted nails. I don't give a shit what you think about me. Flat out. I'm a cool guy. I respect you if you respect me, man. Doesn't matter who I like, what gender I like. What does it matter? It's none of your fucking business. Hey, no worries, bro. Come on back. Yeah, man, I feel that. Heck yeah, Subi. We talk about a lot of cool stuff here, man. I'm open to everything. Keep leaving comments about random shit. We'll keep talking about it. What you think about Skinwalker? Oh my god, man, them things. I'm thankful I don't live where Tampa lives. Let's just put it that way. Cryptids I have seen. Let's go from there. The only I've never seen Bigfoot, which I wish I would. I have seen the rake, which is a very strange humanoid looking thing. I've seen it with my own damn eyes, and it made me cry. Like, not like, oh my god, I'm so sad, but when I laid eyes on this thing and I made eye contact through binoculars, my eyes ran like I've never experienced before. And Jordan saw the fucking thing too. If I ever have him on here, we're going to talk about that. I'll write a freaking script so that we bring that up. We both saw it that night, and it was weird as hell. The rake. Creepy fucking thing, man. And every time we were in the woods after that, we thought about that goddamn thing, 100%. I love to explore an abandoned mall, train station, state. Yeah, that'd be cool. There's a bunch of a mall just got closed down by me, but I think it's still like really occupied by like security and shit. Um, like subway stations, train stations. There's one, I think it's Cincinnati or Columbus or something, which is way too far for me. But they built like a whole ass tunnel system and they never used it, and it sits abandoned now. Oh, you seen UFO when you were in Iraq? Did you serve, brother? If you did, thank you for your service. Yeah, I had a cousin who served in Iraq and Iraq and Afghanistan. Can you say that 3 times fast? Goodness. Where's Tampa at? Yeah, for real. Oh, he's out in Colorado, if you don't know. He's in the fucking desert out there. Andre, what's up, brother? Hey, man, no worries. I get it's life, bro. I'm just sitting here. We're talking about weird ass shit now. You ever seen anything weird like Bigfoot? That's what we're talking about now. Thanks for the support. Yeah, of course. Thanks for being here, man. I appreciate you. You got any weird ass topics? Let's talk about it, bro. Could be anything. Abandoned theme park. Oh, that'd be sick. That'd be sick, man. Yeah, if I ever were to explore anything like that, I want to explore the theme park in Pripyat or Chernobyl, which is, in Russia. I can never go there. Or it's in the area over there. Is it Ukraine or Russia? I forget what country that's actually sitting in. I think Russia took it over now, so that'd be a little tough to go to, but that place is really cool. Be scary and sick, heck yeah. Yeah, that one is like not as radiated as it used to be, but Ukraine, yeah, that's what I thought. It's somewhere over there on that border. Isn't it like 40 miles from Russia or some shit like that? All right, let's go ahead and move our setup real quick. Yeah, that place has always intrigued me, man. Very, very cool. Yeah, that theme park was only open for like a couple days before the nuclear fallout happened. Or the nuclear meltdown, whatever you like to consider it. Once I was on a pier in New York City and had a whole conversation with this dude. I reached down and pulled a crowd, but he was gone. Really? So that's like one of them weird, like, talking to somebody and they're gone. I've had that before. I've had instances where, like, like at my job, I'm a cashier, so like I'll check somebody out, they'll walk away, I'll look down, they're fucking gone. Like, where'd they go? I've had some instances like that. I'm intrigued with time travel and things like that. I think it's really fucking interesting, to say the least. Very interesting. Kind of chain necklace. Dude, I haven't even worn these for so long, so I do have this weird little like red gemstone thing, which isn't an actual gemstone. It's just like a cheap little thing. And then I do have a Baphomet symbol, which is pretty sick. I've had this for years and years and years. I just haven't worn it in a long time. It kind of ties into the pentagram. It's just a little bit different. But I've had this for so long, the color's worn off of it and things like that. But I love this thing, man. Had it for a very, very long time. I think the creepiest to be in churches. And that's the thing. I've been to not abandoned churches, but there is a local church that's well over 100 years old, and I went there a lot as a child at night for a lot of I went to a youth group there. We used to play like hide and seek. The church never scared me, man. I don't know. Yeah, no way, exactly. Yeah, I feel that, Andre. That there's weird things like that you'll come across, man. What car do you think sounds the best for me? I think it's a 96 Acura Integra. Wow, man, that's tough. If it's a JDM car, I do like how Subi sound, like all of Subi sound great. Supra, badass sounding. If it comes down to like a Mopar, holy shit, man. It all depends on like exhaust. Like it could be a stock car. I think the Plymouth Satellite sounds badass. The Cudas are nice. Except Catholic ones are. I'll fall asleep now. Hey, man. Get some rest, brother. It's 3:21 in the morning here. I feel it. I feel it. I gotta do the same thing here in a little bit, too. Yeah, run with that turbo whistle. Exactly, bro. You know that. Okay, 3 Supras. Oh, yeah. Right, exactly, Crispy. And that stuff happens too, man. There was a video. The thing that really compels me about stuff like that is there was a video from like, who the hell was the guy's name? He did like all the old like circus videos in like the early 1900s. I forget the guy's name. But there was a part of the video where it's like looking at the street and people are walking by, and there's somebody walking by like this, and they're talking. You can see them speaking, and they're like, well, maybe they were using like a shoehorn or something, like they were trying to hear. Maybe they were like mentally unstable, but it looks 100% like they're speaking on a cell phone, and it's like early 1900s black and white footage. Is like not possible. There's no cell phone then, you know. But that one always blew my mind. RX-7s, oh yeah. Yeah, 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 exactly. Thank you, Andre. Right, Crispy. Oh yeah, fire. Yeah, the Hellcats. Yeah, don't get me started on those, bro. Those Scat Pack Chargers too. Oh man. Yeah, dude. But there is like so much stuff we can talk about. I should make like shorts on this. I've been doing like a bunch of shorts on like band material, like I said, piercing, tattoos, stuff like that. I'm trying to get into that a little bit more. Um, but I can do them on like my favorite ghost experience or like favorite whatever experience. Things like that. That'd be great to do. But dude, that stuff blows me away, man. I haven't had really any UFO encounters. I mean, I've seen stuff in the sky, but it's never been like, wow, that's what that is kind of thing. You know, you never 100% know unless you know. But stuff's out there, man. Let's put it that way. You never know. Ghost experience, yeah, that'd be bomb. I did. Okay, here's the best ghost experience I've ever had. I was at my mom had an acquaintance from school, and his father, who was 93 at the time, owned a farm in southern Ohio. It was in Jewett, Ohio, Cadiz area, Carrollton, very, very southern Ohio. And there was an old farmhouse on the property that was like 200 years old or something like that. Well, something had like a storm or something tore down the stairs to the upstairs, like there was like an attic part with a window. Something had broke the stairs to where no one was up there for 20 years or more or something like that, like 30 years, something crazy. Well, we'd be sitting there, we'd be shooting guns and hanging out and having a fun time. And we would look up and there'd be somebody in that window. And a guy that was with us who's disabled from a fire, doesn't do any drugs, doesn't drink, doesn't he smokes cigarettes, but he didn't do anything like that. He saw the same thing we did. We looked up and there was a woman in that window with like a white dress on, and she went like this and put her hand on the window. And we were walking up the hill to go shoot again. I'm like, hey, you know, dude, do you see that? And he's like, yeah. He's like, she just put her hand on the window. And he's like, hi, like, how are you? You know, and then like the figure like disappeared, like walked backwards again. And I'm like, dude, did you just see that? And he's like, I just saw that. And we had a lot of experiences in that town because my mom grew up down there. We went to the same street, which was a dirt road where a house used to sit where she spent a lot of time as a child. And there's a cemetery at the end of the road. Well, we walked to the end of that road to that cemetery, and out of nowhere, the wind kicked up, a storm started, and my mom was just being blasted with this wind, and her hair was like straight back like this. And our buddy, like again, he was 100% sober. Can't say the same for myself, but he said that was the weirdest experience he's ever had. He witnessed the weather change within seconds. My mom went to that cemetery and she's like, I'm back, you know, like I'm back where I grew up. I'm here. Like there's a lot of spiritual energies there. And he was like, I've never experienced anything like that ever. So that's those two things. Seeing that thing in the window and going to that cemetery in that town was the craziest things I've ever seen. Definitely hella stuff. Government definitely is covering that up. Oh yeah. That's cool. F-35 kid. Yeah, that's crazy. Oh hell no. Yeah, that's creepy as shit. That's what I'm saying. We were there because there was a house that sat on this road where my mom spent a lot of time. It's since been like demolished and all this and that, but we're there. We're like, my mom saw Bigfoot there one time when she was a child. She looked out the window and it was like a very bad thunderstorm and the lightning cracked. And in between the two cars in the park or in the yard, there was this big ass like hairy thing standing there. That's such a cool memory. But we went right back there and that stuff transpired. It was a very crazy night.
You hate your mom so much. Why the fuck are you telling her so much?
It's a cool story.
Oh,
But
fucking drunk, you
yeah, that
tell
was
stories.
she was a fucking child when it happened. But yeah, that was crazy. So we went back there expecting like something weird like that to happen, and it did. It was a cool part of town. I can't wait to go back there one day and try to see what's there. But it's like 2 hours away, hour and a half away. Yeah, you know the government knows about that kind of stuff, man. I'm not gonna get into that because I'll have all the alien guys popping back in here and all that kind of stuff. But look at Roswell incident. Freaking like almost 100 years ago that happened. They know. Look at the technology we had right outside of World War II. I mean, shit, how do we have hovering shit in the 50s? X-File Thieves played. Yeah, that's a good one. I like that. Andre knows, bro. He's woke to that kind of shit, bro. Tony knows aliens are real. Yeah, exactly. Always have an open mind. My grandfather was the fucking most genius person I ever known in my life. Historian, scientific person. He said, if you doubt there's anything else in this universe but, or if there's not anything else in this universe but us, you're a fool. Dude, our galaxy is this big compared to the universe. Do you think we're the only living beings here? It's impossible. You can't even fathom. Even if there's a fucking rat on another planet, there's something else out there. And I love thinking about it, man. I love looking at the sky at night. You know, it's just cool to think about. Yeah, that alien stream was weird as hell, bro. All them guys are like, hey, we're from Akron. I'm like, how do you know me? Like, oh, you're getting shared around in Akron. I'm like, really? At the same time I'm talking about aliens, all these alien people pop in my stream. That shit was kind of weird for real, but like I said, if the word alien, they popped in, right? Aliens, conspiracy theories, Akron, Ohio. Let's see. Watch. Couple minutes, bro. Couple minutes, they'll be here. Let's MIB is commenting on this shit since they live. Yeah, exactly, bro. Yeah, that was a very strange coincidence. If that was hella weird. I don't know what to think about that. Something sent those people here. I haven't seen that, John B. I need to check that out, bro. I see a glowy. What's a glowy? I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. I gotta figure out what this is, bro. Hey, 3:30 in the morning, 330 Akron. That's our area code. I'm not gonna do that. 330, bro. Shit, man. I gotta be up in like 8 hours. God damn. Whatever. I'm having fun. I don't care. I mean, the Men in Black are real things. Like that has happened. Right, exactly. Be up at 5. Damn, bro. Why you guys here if you gotta get up early, man? Get out of here. What are you doing here, bro? Shit. I'm gonna finish my drink and eat some food and pass out. Well, not really pass out, just go to bed. That's why I got these this time. So I drink IPAs. It's like 3 of those, and I'm out. I don't even know how many of these I've had. Kind of move all my shit somehow across the country. What you talking about, bro? You moving? Damn, bro. You're the same thing as me. 12:30. Man, you 3 hours behind us, bro. Gotta go. All right, F-35 kid, thanks for being here. Just chilling. Yeah, it's a wild night, bro. It's wild tonight. Why the hell is this kitchen light on? I didn't turn that on. 3:31 a.m. Yeah, you in the same area as me, bro. You know that. IPAs are bomb. Yeah, I mean, I got one in the fridge, but I wasn't going to drink it tonight. I'll drink it tomorrow because I'm off the next day, so. I'll have like, like 8 Budweisers? I don't even know how many I've had. It's kind of stupid. Like, I could feel more off an IPA or 2 than I feel off 8 of those, so it's just more of like a chill thing. But I definitely need to get a hold of some of the homies, like I said, Ryan, Jordan, the people I grew up with, and we'll have some cool ass stories, man. We'll have a good stream. I got to get a hold of him. Maybe we'll try it for not today, since I work today at 12 or noon or what the fuck ever. Maybe the next day. I'll see if I can get with him. Try to do it. Bidding auction's going to flip in a few days or so. Going live tomorrow. I don't know, man. I gotta get a hold of him and see. I gotta see what he's doing. Try to get a hold of Jordan. He said he wanted to do that and talk about exploring and things like that. I'll have to do that. And Ryan, dude, I don't even know what the hell, when I can get a hold of him. I mean, I can hit him up anytime, but when I can actually get him on. Ryan's a goofy bastard. We'll see. Nowhere near Hawaii. Shit, you're just a couple hours away, bro. You just swim across the ocean a little ways, and you out there in Hawaii. You in Hawaii in a few hours, bro. What you mean? Not even a few hours. That'd be a cool ass place to visit. Shit, Hawaii? Hell yeah. Derek was just there. Probably smacking his stickers everywhere, like, Honest Diecast. Honest Diecast. Freaking Derek. I'm from outer space. Guess true. I bet, man. I bet. We'll call you PL. I bet PL. Water's amazing. Oh, yeah, I bet, bro. I just like to go to, like, Pearl Harbor. That's about it. Since I like war history so much, I think that'd be really dope. Yeah, I mean, shit, if you're in the West Coast, a couple hours away is Hawaii. It's just an island out there. Not too far away, a couple hours. Yeah, I'd love to go there too, man. I love war history. I mean, that's how we started World War II with Japan, was freaking Pearl Harbor, December 7th, 1941. 3 to 4 hours, right? Yeah, exactly. It's not like Cuba. You can't float a freaking fridge across from Cuba to Florida, from Hawaii to California. I remember when that happened. That shit's wild. You guys remember that? Somebody from Cuba floated a fridge across the ocean to Florida. That was like, wow, that was a while ago. Damn, that was a minute ago. Well, yeah, I'm going to have to wrap it up here soon, guys. I appreciate all of you for being here. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, man. Come back. We'll talk about some cool stuff. I got some interesting streams to come up soon. Was there anything in the fridge? Hey, who knows, bro? And basketball raft. I don't know about that one, bro. That's pretty sick. Yeah, I heard about that. I was young as shit, dude. I don't even know how young I was, but somebody did that. Same to you, Tony. Thanks, brother. I appreciate you, man. D's still here. Thanks, D. Seems legit, right? I'd be scared as hell. Yeah, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for coming through. Like I said, we do I'm mainly like a diecast channel, I show off like cars and stuff I like. But I'm kinda going away from that a little bit. I'll talk about anything here. There's a lot of cool stuff to talk about, of course, so you could pop in and be like, hey, what do you think about this? And if I know about it, I'll talk about it, kind of thing. So yeah, PL, thanks for coming through, brother. Like I said, subscribe, man. I'm always active. I do stuff every day, so definitely need to get StreamYard. Get all the boys on. I need to figure out how to do that, bro. I don't even know how to share a link like that. I'm so out of the loop. Glad to be here. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, PL. Guess I'll go trolls. What? Andre, go sleep, bro. It's freaking 3 a.m. What are you doing, bro? What am I doing? I gotta get out of here too. Shit. And just like Gary said, it's my last swig. But then he's up 4 hours later, so. Casual toy collectors. Yeah, for real. Yeah, I mean, I use StreamYard like to join Pack and other people, but I don't know how to do it myself. Like, make a StreamYard stream and then like, oh, hey, everybody get in on this. Like, I don't know. Superbird does it. I need to get a hold of him. Gotta find me a wife. Get out there and do it, bro. Never know. You could do it, bro. I feel it. Gary's full of shit. Yeah, for real. Gary's hilarious, man. He's a good guy, man. But yeah, he's funny as fuck. I'm gonna do my impersonation of Gary real quick. Oh, Diamond is up in there. Andre's in there. What's up, Andre? Crispy's in there. Respect to Gary, of course. No disrespect, Gary. Dude has me rolling, though. Yeah, he's awesome for sure. He's always got me rolling. He's got his big ass, like, beer mug and shit. And he's like... Yeah, Gary scrolled down, exactly. He's always behind on the chat and shit. That always... Oh my god, that kills me. I was dying the other night when he was, like, talking about his truck or whatever. He's like, I got a fucking big-ass Dodge Ram, and, it's got big-ass tires, and it's got a Hemi. And he's like, goes, oof, 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 oof. When it idles, I'm like, Gary, I can hear what it sounds like with your noises, but thank you for going ahead and, telling us. Yeah, Gary geeks me out. Great guy. Love Gary. West Virginia Ninja, for sure. And then he was he was doing the stream the one day, and like a crotch rocket went by, and he was like, I hate these motherfuckers. He's like, there goes one of those Kawasaki's. He's like, Kawasaki. I was dying. Yeah, you're really 5 minutes behind. Yeah, I always know when I join Gary's stream, he'll take a couple minutes to see my chat, but that's all good. Gary's truck noises. Yeah, bro, he's like, fucker would climb a tree if it wanted to, man. Like, all right, Gary. I teased him tonight. I'm like, where's the video of the truck, bro? He's like, I haven't fucking got out there to do it yet. All right, Gary. But shit, guys, it's almost 4 a.m. here. I gotta get off here, man. I gotta make some food. Get to bed. I gotta work tomorrow. Then I'm off the next day, so we'll see what we got going on. I'll let you guys know if any special streams coming up soon. And like I said, shout out to PL. Let's leave it at that for coming through. Glad to have you on board, man. It's a madness around here. We talk about a little bit of everything on my stream, so I'm glad YouTube's pushing it. Smiley face to you too, brother. Jesus Christ. Hell yeah. Yeah, come back, man. We'll talk about aliens, music, whatever. Wow. All right, guys. I am out of here, man. I'm going to go cut up my rotisserie chicken and got some scalloped potatoes. Why am I looking at the fridge like it's ready to go? Shit, I don't know. I appreciate you, Crispy. Thanks so much, brother. Same to you, man. God bless. Have a good one. See you in the next video.